Hi all, Lauren Winters West here, Chief Expert Organizer and founder of Next Highest Good. We are a professional organizing company based here in San Francisco with a specialization on zero waste. Thanks for tuning in today, the first of our Lunch and Learn series for spring cleaning and getting organized. Today we're going to talk about your ideal space, but first I'm going to tell you a little bit about the format. So I'm going to talk for a little bit, and then there's going to be plenty of time for Q&A. I hope you'll bring your questions. Whatever comes to your mind is great. So let's kick it off with your ideal space. So we're going to do a little exercise here. Call it a blue sky exercise, which to me is something where there's no there's no practical constraints. You can think about your ideal space in as big or as grand as you would like it to be. It's important to start here because this is a foundational piece it's really our goal. It's our end game of what you want your space to be and what is the most kind of productive space for you, but also like the healthiest environment for you. You'll see what I mean as we start to talk about it. It's important to know that this is a process. It takes a while to do. Even when I'm with people in their homes, it takes a while. So please be patient and just bear with me as we get into it's a visualization, really. I was hesitating using that word for fear that it might scare some folks off. But if you've never done one or you think that's not for you, just bear with me. And if you have, you know how powerful this can be. So here's how it goes. You might want to have a pen and paper with you because there are some things, I think you'll surprise yourself. Some things will come to you and you might want to write them down when we're done. It's very short. Just bear with me. Here we go. So I like to think of it in terms of coming home from vacation. Before I leave on a holiday, even for just a weekend trip, I like the house to be just so that when I come back and open all the bags, laundry is everywhere and we kind of explode into the house. But for just that one moment, everything is in its place. Everything has a place and it's in its space. So I like to think about that moment. You also might want to think about it if you open your garage door. What does your garage look like? Or you're about to cook a meal, or you just finished cooking a meal, and your house is just perfect. So that's the ideal scenario. Your house is just perfect. Everything is in its place, and everything has a place. So, with that in mind, if you're comfortable doing so, close your eyes. I'm going to close mine because Jackson told me that if I didn't close my eyes, that you wouldn't either. So I'm going to close my eyes and do this with you. You're going to walk through your home, either a full walkthrough of your space or just an individual room. It doesn't make a difference, whatever works for you. The other thing to keep in mind here is that you can't do this wrong. There's no right answer. Everything that comes up is helpful, whether overtly or not. Okay, so here we go. You're walking through the house, maybe, or the room, the apartment, or whatever it is, whatever your space is, your home office. Maybe, well, let's think about the kitchen for a moment. So what do the counters look like? Some people like them to be clear. Some people like to have all their gadgets out. It's up to you. What's the right look for that? Let's see, what else? Maybe you have different art on the walls. Maybe your home is painted a different color. Maybe you're even in an entirely different place. But what's coming up? What does it look like? I'll try to talk along and be quiet at the same time. This is also an exercise you can come back to. It's great to do it while you will not be interrupted. That's really an important piece of it. So let's see, we'll look into the closet and are the clothes lined up? Do they look like they're in Instagram worthy? All the same hangers, everything's in size order or by color. Kind of just feel it out. That's important information. Okay. So you can open your eyes if you're comfortable, if you have them closed, and maybe you want to jot some things down. Um, let's see, where was I? What came up for you? Feel free to, I see some notes in here, but I'll get to those in just a minute. I am wondering what came up for people. Did that work? Um, were you able to do it? Do you feel like you want to come back to it later? I'll take some questions now. And oh, I know what I was going to say. Also, if some place comes up, like while you're doing that, if you do it again, or if it's something came up now as a place you want to start, that's really helpful. In fact, tomorrow we'll be talking about getting started and what to do when you get stuck. So that's really good information as well. So I'm going to go ahead and look and see if there's some questions. Let's see. Casey is saying, thank you for bringing this up. Yeah, everything has its place. That's right. Yeah. So there's that French phrase, which I'm not going to say in French because my accent's not so great, but it means everything has a place and everything in its place. And that's really our goal when we are doing this kind of thing, to organize your space that everything has a space to go. Whether or not it's in its space at all times is a totally different subject. So I'm going to just keep an eye on these questions here. Okay, Kate said she kept picturing her kitchen and her kitchen cabinets. Yes, I know how that can be. I want to also point out that I know that exercise, it's funny, I'm from the East Coast and I feel like my East Coast people are saying, visualization. Boy, the girl moved out to California and she really drank the Kool-Aid. I totally did, by the way, but I didn't want to use the word visualization because I just didn't want to put people off. But I do think it's really powerful, especially I didn't want people to get caught up on constraints, either time or resources. Like if I was saying maybe you don't even live in the same home and people are saying, well, I'm not moving now. I just don't want it to be so logged in reality. I do think that it's really helpful for visualization to let yourself dream dream big, folks, because that's what will lead you, believe it or not, towards the things that you want in your life, is just allowing the dreams to come. Does anybody have any questions I can answer? I can answer them about anything, really. Today we talked about um, the ideal space, because that's a foundational piece, and knowing what we're looking toward. Are you looking to, open up a room in your home for exercise, or to build a home office, or all those kinds of things are really important and can come up here if you let yourself dream. I remember I'll share a personal story with you, which is unrelated to organizing, actually. When I got engaged, I was 36, and I wasn't really sure that marriage was in the stars for me. But when I got engaged and we just were planning a wedding, I thought, oh my God, I never really let myself think about planning a wedding. I don't really know. And then I went for a walk on the beach, and kind of all these ideas came to me, and I realized, oh wait, I want to get married on a full moon, I want to get married on the beach, and there it was, all those things, and I didn't that I didn't know were there. So I think it's a really powerful exercise, and I hope that you found it helpful. I'm not seeing many questions here, so I think I can wrap it up. I would love to see you all here tomorrow. Tomorrow we're going to talk about getting started and what to do when you get stuck. You can also follow us here on Facebook and a YouTube channel that is brand spanking new. I hope that you will join us over there. Ultimately, I'll be moving these videos to YouTube. You can also find us on our website, which is www.nexthighestgood.com. And there, sign up for our newsletter, stay in touch, reach out to me to do a solo session.
Our questions.
Where are they?
The little comments.
I can't see them. My husband's here. Oh, there they are. Oh my gosh. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thanks, guys. Oh, sorry if I missed your question. I'll type it again. Thank you. Robin says, where do you suggest I put my children while I'm trying to get advice on where to put my stuff but can't hear? Yes, Robin, I know your children. They're so lovely, especially when you're trying to hear something. Here's what you do. You just come back to this later tonight when they're all asleep in their beds. Although, do they ever go to sleep now? Because who has to get up in the morning? I hope that's helpful. But you can call me and I'll give it to you directly. Okay, Debbie says, it's my garage that's the issue. Visualization is very powerful. Thanks, Debbie. So garages, yes, garages are a big thing. I really want to do a session in my garage. It's kind of the toughest spot for me. It seems to kind of ebb and flow. I guess that's the whole spirit of it, that it sometimes is just perfect and then it kind of falls apart again as we get another bike or new gear or try to figure it out. So garages, I'm happy to do a whole session on garages. Let's see, I'm going to straw through. Okay, Shauna asked a great question. Is it okay to donate your stuff to charity now? Yes, it is. I found a great organization through a funny way, actually. I was looking for Legos. They actually take Legos and they sanitize them and then they give them to kids who don't have as much as many of us do. So I will post the information below. It's called a Give Back Box. I believe it's givebackbox.com. And they have a Facebook page as well. And you can print off a label through the US Post Office. And I believe you can set up a pickup of the box, or you can drop it off at your post office if you feel comfortable there. And you can look on their website as to what they take. But I think it's all the good stuff. All you really need from your supplies is a box. And then, like I said, they give you a printing label and you can drop it off at the post office. Rose is asking about paperwork. Yes, and organizing papers. I'm going to hold off on that for a second because that could be a whole session in itself. Aw, that's lovely. Shauna's saying they cleared off a corner of the basement and made it into a meditation lounge. That's great. We're using the room downstairs for everything. It's the place to meditate, the place to work, the place to retreat. Okay, so Kate, I think I asked that question. I answered that question with Shauna's. She's saying she's looking to donate and also to acquire some used organizers. Used organizers, what do you mean by used organizers? So also, on Thursday, we're going to talk about zero waste and all the options therein, and I'll have a lot more information there then. But there's also, my brother is calling. Thought I turned that off. There is an organization called Buy Nothing, and you can look it up on the web. You can also look it up on Facebook, and you find an area that's that's geographically related to your own. And you should definitely check your local chapter because I believe that some of them are only accepting or letting you trade essential items. It's essentially a trade site. Well, you don't have to trade. You can give away or you can receive. That's the thing. It's called Buy Nothing. Okay, it sounds like that's a big question. Where do we donate? How can we donate now and to where? That's the one organization that I found that you can absolutely donate that. Okay, Harper is asking, hi Harper, can you address getting overwhelmed by how much and needs to be done? Yes, and we'll talk about that tomorrow. Sorry to put you off, but I think that's a good subject that fits with getting started and kind of staying motivated. Okay, Kate is saying she's thinking of some shelves, bins, usually check Goodwill, and Buy Nothing sounds awesome. Yeah, you can look into that for sure. Because I think you can also post and say, you're in search of ISO, right? In search of the things that somebody might have in their closet. I know one of our assistants who works with us at Next High is Good was looking for a bike one of those things that makes your real bike into a stationary bike. And she'd asked me had I come across any of them. Of course, I had, but we had donated a couple of months ago. And she reached out to her friends, and somebody had one in the garage just laying around. So that's one of the silver linings to all this, I think, is connecting people through community. You could also do Nextdoor. That might be a good way to do it as well. Let's see. I'm going to scroll back up and just make sure I didn't miss any questions. If I did and you're still here, would you pop it back in? Maybe I will talk about paper, organizing paper. Okay, so paper, photos, all those little sheets are so thin and it takes a long time to do. I wish I had better news for you, but it really does. It just takes a long time to go through it. So make sure, I would suggest that you do all the other things first, unless that's the burning project that you have. If that's the burning project that you have, great. If not, and it's just like, not to say, Rose, that this is your situation, but sometimes you can make a category almost your excuse, like it's too overwhelming, so I'm not going to do any of it. Paper is a real, I was going to say pain in the bum. Let's just call it, it's a pain in the bum, because, just think about it. I have a little notebook here. Like, oh, these are just one little piece of paper that all have this information, and you have to read all the things. So I would wait on that until you feel like you're in a good spot, unless, like I said, it's your burning thing to get done. And then I can give you some tips and tricks, but I'm going to leave it at that, my dear Rose. You can call me. So let's see. Tomorrow is going to be getting started, what to do when you're stuck, overwhelm, all that good stuff. Thursday is zero waste solutions, all along the likes of what I've given you so far with Buy Nothing and the Give Back Box and that kind of thing. We can also talk about my favorite organizers. Like Kate was asking about, it's nice to get them, having to not have to get new things, especially the plastic things. But I do have some of my favorite organizing tools that are typically not plastic that I recommend. I'm happy to share those with you. And I hope that you'll either watch this again later or do the visualization exercise. Please let me know how that went for you or what spaces are coming up. Remember, it's a process and there's no right answers. Anything you came up with is right. And my website. Oh, and if you want, I am doing virtual organizing with folks. So if you want some support in this, I have a pretty good range. We can work one-on-one together, or I have a couple packages going for, depending on what your needs are, how much support you would want. And I'm happy to do that with you. It's my hope that everybody feels good in their space. It's so important. It's especially important now to feel good in your home, in our little cocoons, because, well, you know why. That's all we've got here, right? But I'm so pleased that everybody was here and came out and joined us, and I hope it was helpful, and I look forward to seeing you tomorrow, unless there's any other questions. Signing off, Lauren Winters West of Next High is Good. Here's to you and zero waste. Bye, y'all.